All right, guys. Today we have a special guest in the house, super talented brother known internationally as the Secret Weapon. We talking about the one and only Reychesta.
Eso.
Yo, Ray, how you doing today, man?
Estamos vivos, que es lo más importante, contento, tú sabes. Gracias por la invitación. Aquí estoy con mis panas, mi artista de Inex, La Cocina Studios, y con un carnalito que le mete bien duro a los beats. Y le estamos making feria, su ropa, su marca de ropa que viene pronto por ahí. Estamos haciendo música underground, también música comercial, tú sabes, pero you gotta keep the underground alive. La gente se olvida del rap.
So I'm glad to have you on the platform, you know, with us. My interviews, I like to start in chronological order, start at the beginning so people can understand who you are, where you came from, and how you got to where you are today.
Okay.
So you were born in Santiago, Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah. I'm Dominican and stuff.
So explain to us what it was like there in the Dominican Republic from what you could remember as a child.
Well, I was like 8, 9 when I started like liking music. I mean, I started singing when I was 5, but I started liking hip hop like around 8, 9. Started listening to like Vico C, Cypress Hill, and Melo Mayonnaise, which is my homie. You know, shout out to Melo from LA. And I did shows with them after I got famous, man. But before I came out, I used to listen to them. And I was like, damn, I want to do that music, you know, in Spanish, though. Like, I used to hear English, like Cypress Hill.
Yeah, wait, before we get into the music, though, like, what do you remember about lifestyle, the lifestyle there in the Dominican Republic, though? Like, explain that for us so that we can see.
Same. It's still the same, you know, because I come from, like, a small country, you know, like, there's a lot of poor people. And my family, you know, they would say, like, rich or poor. It was, like, middle class. But before all that, you know, we was living in, like fucked up houses, you know, like in the hood, you know, like hoods.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up where in the hood where you have to like fight every day, even to play baseball, you have to fight to be in the team. Like it was like a bunch of crazy bad kids, you know, on my hood when I grew up, and I always try to be like the good guy, and you know, like try not to look for problems. So because I wanted to do my music shit since I was young. My father was a musician, so I already had that on my blood. But what I remember from my country is that you know there was a lot of bad economy, people going through shit. You know, like there was no support or people like believing on the music that we do. Not only in that music and any type of music. Like it was like you have to like go through a lot of shit, you know, to be able to survive. And right now it's probably worse because you know now is a new generations. They more crazy. They like to spend more money.
Right.
And they want the last iPhone, you know.
Yeah.
Back then, you know, you have to go out there and get the money, but now niggas is doing bad shit, you know, just to get whatever they want. But I'm just like a good sample from the people I grew up with, because most of my friends they all dead or locked up. So I'm like one of the only ones left, and I'm just happy to be here, man. I think the music saved me, you know.
Right. Did you grow up with any siblings?
I grew up with my aunt, and then some lady that wasn't my mother, like my stepmother, because my mom left me there when I was 6 months, and she came to New York, like to give us a better future, you know, to send money from here over there. So my mom left me when I was a baby, 6 months, you know. So when she came back for me, I was 5. I didn't even want to leave with her. I thought my mom was the other lady, you get me? So I was like, nah, what the hell is going on? Like, so that shit fucked my head up, you get me?
Right.
I didn't even want to leave the other lady.
So what do you remember that was like though? Like you were just like really confused. Like, wait, I thought you was my mom.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on. You know, who's my mom, her or her? You know, but still, I still like went through a lot of shit. I never met my dad. I know who my dad was, but I never met him because my mom had like some beef with him. You know, so I was just a kid that was rolling in dolo in the streets. Like I would skate home with the other kids. And I would jump in the garbage truck, you know, those garbage truck, the compact. I would go in the back and hang myself there. So they would look for me. Oh, where's the little kid? And I was like 10 miles away type of shit. Like I was hanging in the truck, and they would bring me back because they already knew me. Everybody knew the people that was taking care of me. They're like, yo, I seen your son like all the way in 120th Street, and I was like in 50th Street, like, so they would go look for me. I was like a wild kid, you know. So
So you didn't have any brothers or sisters?
nah, I had them here when I came to New York. My mom had my brother, my sister, but they was born in New York. I was born in DR. So when I came from DR, I met them.
Oh, so they were your
Yeah,
half brother and sister then.
yeah, half brothers,
Okay. So
half brothers.
your dad though, he was a famous singer, actor, comedian, right? And like broadcaster?
Yeah, 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 yeah. He is.
So but you said that you never met him before?
Nah, I never met him. I look for him. I look for him, and it was always some shit, you know, like. And then my mom was like saying that she never met him. So then I spoke to my aunt, and my grandmother told me the truth, and my uncle. And then I asked my cousins. They're like, "Yeah, he's really your dad, but your mom didn't want you to know." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So everything I did, you know, when I grew up, I was like my brother's father, you know, because I was like, I don't gonna let my mom and my brother go through shit or get hit or get abused by somebody. Like I was acting like I was my brother's father.
The man of the house.
So that's why I was like chilling in the streets, enjoying crazy shit like with gangs and all that shit. Cause I was doing it to protect my family and shit. Like I didn't need that, you know, cause all I wanted to do music. But
right,
you always gotta have a backup. You always gotta have a clique, you know. So just in case somebody wanna do something to you or your family, you always gotta have somebody with you. Cause nobody's unstoppable, you know. It can happen to anybody. But that's why I started doing that.
What do you remember though as a kid, like not knowing your dad? Do you feel like that was really confusing for you that like you didn't have that male role model though?
I mean, it was kind of late already. Cause when I was 10, I was already like throwing rocks and shit, you know, in DR. Like I was already chilling I was chilling with older people, you know, like 20, 25. So everything I learned was from veterans and shit, you know, like I never chill with kids my age. Like when I was 20, I was chilling with niggas that was 40, you get me?
Right.
So I will learn all the experience and shit that I had is from niggas that went through worse than me. So I'm like, I don't gonna get scared with something because I already been in the scary shit. In DR, I've been in PR too. Like in Colombia, when I do shows in Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, there's crazy shit out there too, you know, that people don't know. And it happens in the show, it happens in the streets. So you always gotta be on point and shit wherever you go, because you don't know what can happen, you know.
So when your mom comes back for you at 5, do you guys move to Queens right away at that time?
No, she introduced me to my aunt, and then I started living with my aunt. And then like three years later, when I was 8, she came back for me, and that's when she brought me to New York. And shit, I was like 8, 9 years old. We moved to Left Rock City and shit, where Nori's from, Left
Right.
Rock.
But before then, though, right? Like at 5, was that when you were in the performing arts school? Was that when you were learning all the instruments?
Yeah, yeah. I started singing when I was 5 because they teach me the song, whatever. But it was really because my stepsister, you know, she had me like this big lollipop and shit. Like, yo, if you learn this song, I'll give you this lollipop. And I was like, okay, let me get it. She's like, nah, you gotta learn the song first. And then she brought me to a classroom and put me on top of the table and shit with the teacher's desk. And I was like nervous and shit. Like, I don't want to do it because everybody's laughing. Like, what these little kids about to do? So then I sang the song, and they was applauding me. You know, like everybody liked it, and I felt this energy and shit. You know, like I felt mad happy. Like I liked it, but I didn't know that they was doing it because they knew who my father was. You get me? So they was doing it for me to learn what music is. But it was like indirectly, like a punch in your face. You get me? Like we know who you are, and we're gonna raise you to do the same shit he did. So they had
Right.
musicians coming to my crib, like playing in the backyard, like they needed space to practice. But they was already famous people, like El Cieguito de Nagua, you know, like this is merengue or typical type of shit. My man Memin that played the bass for the best bachatero. All the bachatero niggas learned from Memin. Memin is my neighbor, so I didn't know this nigga was famous and shit. I was just doing it for the love of music, and And then I started like, oh, I want to learn how to play the saxophone. I want to learn how to play the piano. But then I didn't know that I could sing. I started singing when my stepsister came in, like, oh, like learn this song, and then she would give me a line, like repeat this line, and we repeat it, and then I learned the whole song. And they're like, how this little kid can remember all those lyrics and shit if he's only 5, you know? I still remember the lyrics,
Right.
and I'm 45.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So it's like it was on me since I was a kid and shit. You get me? Like I always wanted to be a musician, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a rapper. I was just wanted to sing because when you do music, you don't just have to be a rapper. You could be a R&B artist. You could be a reggaeton artist. You could be a fucking trap drill artist. And if they throw another beat, you just gotta kill it. You know, they're not telling you
Right.
to do a whole album with us with that style. You just do that style for one time. And if it work out, you keep doing it. If it don't work out, you keep moving with your own style or with something else. You don't have to do the same flow in every track. And that's why I'll be telling niggas like, yo, why you always flow with the ta 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 ta, like why you don't do ta 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 ta
Hmm.
ta ta, like playing congas, you know, like cry fast, slow. You gotta switch it up. You can't just be simple. And that's
Right.
something that I learned since I was a kid, you know.
So for you though, like because your dad was a musician, did you feel like a little hesitant to go down that lane because they were trying to get you to almost go the same route?
No, cause in my head I already knew. Like, okay, I gonna do it, but I don't gonna mention him. I gonna do it myself. And when I blow up one day, then I gonna say it. Cause I don't want people to say, oh, he used his name. You get me? Like to nah. Like my mom don't even want me to talk about that guy.
Got
She
you.
gets mad. You get me? When I go through what my grandmother said. Cause no grandmother's gonna tell her grandson like, oh, this and that, and it's not true. Cause it's gonna mess up with the kid's mind. You know, like with his head and shit. So it's something that I say so it don't happen to other kids, and because there's a lot of mothers out there. Like I'm going through the same shit with child support. Like I have to take a DNA test to make sure that was my kid, right? But I did it. Now I didn't do it because of the court or because of the baby mom. I did it so the kid when he grow up, he don't go through the same shit I went through. You get me? So I was like, fuck it. I don't want this kid to suffer. You don't know who his father is. So I did it, and I still try to be there for him. And the baby mom don't even let me talk to him on the phone. So I'm like, damn, I wish I would have talked to my father on the phone. And I try to talk to my son, and they don't let me. So there's a lot of bad mothers out there too that make the fathers look bad, like with the words and shit. But they don't look at the damage they cause. Because in the end of the day, it's the kid that gonna suffer, not the father. You get me?
So do you think that your mom affected you having a relationship with your dad then?
Yeah, yeah.
And did you ever have a conversation with her like why
Nah,
didn't you allow me to have that relationship?
nah. Because she said that he died. She said that my father was dead. Then she introduced me to another guy. And then my grandmother told me the truth. Like that's not your dad. The one she introduced you. That is a singer. So don't be too happy. Because I told her that I was happy. I met the nigga.
Wow.
So it's like personal shit. You know that I don't even write about. Like I got songs I wrote about that, and I don't even record them. Because I know when I
Mm.
do that shit on stage, it's gonna like make me cry type of shit. But people like it, you know, because I'm not the only nigga that never met his dad, you know. But I knew who he was because when he would perform on TV, where he had a group with Johnny Ventura that would sing merengue and shit, and they call him Antonio Rios, right? So when he come out on TV, I used to sit in front of the TV to look at him, like if I already knew the nigga, and I never, I didn't know. And then I will go out, and the neighbors will tell me like, yo, you como like my neck. You see how my neck is chubby now because I'm getting weight. I had that shit since I was a kid, so they would tell me like, yo, your neck look like Anthony Rios, like tú tienes la papaya, like como Anthony
Right.
Rios, like this shit right here. And I'm like, and I will get mad and throw rocks and shit, like I pick piedras and shit and throw it at them. Like, yo, don't call me like that. Like I thought they was like bullying me, but I didn't get it because I was a kid. You get me? It was like indirectly and shit. They was throwing at me. Like, yo, don't tell him that his dad. So I already knew who he was.
I want to
Hmm?
highlight what you said because it's true because you know, a lot of times it's people blaming the dad. The dad doesn't want to be in the life of the child, but they forget that sometimes the woman makes it very difficult for the dad
Yeah.
to be in the life of the child as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
So you're 9 years old. You guys moved to Left Rack. What is it like your reaction when you get to New York? Like, how are you adapting to the new area?
I was confused. Like the first week I went to school, I was crying and shit. Like I want to go back to my country and shit. And then I'm crying in the room. They're like, "Why you crying?" I was like, "Cause I miss my classroom over there." You get me? And then
Mhm.
I didn't know no English and shit, so they was taking classes. And then I'm like, they asked me how they say something in English and shit. So I didn't know how to say it. So I asked somebody, "How you say that?" And he gave me the wrong words and shit. And I got so mad because it was like everybody was laughing and shit. I'm like, so I left the school. I act like I went to the bathroom and I went through the exit door and went back home. I don't even know how the fuck I remember the address. I walked and I ring the bell. And they was like, "How the fuck you got here?" Like, "Oh, the principal brought me here." I told them that some guy in a car brought me. It wasn't true. I escaped.
Right.
So I didn't want to go to school and shit. Like the first week, I was like ashamed and shit. Like people laughing and shit, making fun of me because I was, like a Dominican kid that didn't know nothing in English. I was like, why the fuck they got me in an English class? I don't know no fucking English. I think they should have like somebody working with kids like that. Like, okay, I'll help you the first month, and then you. But they had me there like
So there was no ESL at the time? There was no ESL at the time?
shit. I don't even remember. All I know that was like, all I know that the Morenos didn't like the Dominicans, and there was mad fights in that school. So after school, every Latino, Mexicans, Dominicans would get together to fight these fucking people, and they was
Puerto
like,
Ricans too?
yeah, like everybody, like, "Oh, you Latino,
Mhm.
come with us," like different cliques, and we would fucking give it to them. The niggas
All
was
right. Well,
bad.
before we get into that though, right? Before we get into that, like I want to highlight also you coming from the DR, the lifestyle is a lot more relaxed, right? Compared to being in the busy city.
That's how the yeah, yeah, he was more relaxed. But those days, there was a lot of crazy kids. Like I can't. My man Morenito and my man Mage. They rest in peace, Morenito. He used to do music too, and he fucked with Mado back then with Big Mado, the one who fucked with SPK. So I went
Mm-hmm.
to junior high school with Mado, Morenito, and all these niggas. But me and Morenito just got from DR, so we didn't know no English. Mado knew English because he was already out here and shit. So then we started chilling, with Dominicans, Puerto Rican. We all get together after school. So some of them will rap and shit, like Morenito, Mage, me. We had a few niggas that rap, but we didn't like, we never thought we was gonna make it like that far and shit. I
Right.
just did music for the love of it. I didn't care if I made money or not. I was gonna do it no matter what. Like I don't care if they don't like me, I'ma still rap. Even if they don't hear me, I'ma still rap and make them hear it. Because if they never heard it, they're gonna hear it. That's why.
So
That's why I did. That's how like you never know what God had for you. You get me? Like one time I was in
right.
the movie theater and my manager boy Wanda, with Chosen Few called me like, "Yo, I'm over here with a big guy Alejandro Sanz. Go to the studio. Come to Miami tomorrow and record." I never expect that shit. Then he called me to do the BT cipher with Varo, and I was there with Mr. Bentley, DJ Premier, and I was like, "Nigga,
Oh, wait. You skipping ahead. You skipping ahead before we get into all that. But how did your family decide to go with Queens of all places? Like, why did you guys settle on
cause
moving
my
to
mom,
Queens?
my mom lived in Queens and shit when she came over here.
But why she pick Queens?
I don't know, Corona. That's where she used to
Mm.
work and shit, like in a restaurant with some lady, whatever, I guess. And then she lived in Queens. And then my stepfather was some Puerto Rican dude that passed away. He was a veteran and shit. He went to the Navy. So that nigga was like the one that helped my mom and shit, with the apartment and bringing me here to pay the lawyers. Cause he was like, he had like a building, whatever. So he had money. So we didn't have to worry
Did you
about.
have a good relationship with him?
Yeah, yeah. So that was my father basically, you know. So that's why I got the Puerto Rican slang, like "el que cabrón," you know, like I can talk Puerto Rican, like, cause my you know, father's not the one the bring you, he's the one that help you grow up, you know. So
Right.
he gave me all that, not only that street shit, like don't trust nobody, be you, and always to be on point type of shit, cause he was a Navy veteran. But he also like made me want to be a better man, you know, like waking up. I don't like waking up early, but we will get up at 5, 6 in the morning. Like I hate that shit, but I would do it to go to school, you know. I went to college, you
Right.
know that shit. 89, 88, 89, yeah.
89. And you're 9 or 10 at the time?
Yeah, like 9, 10. I came at the best time though, because that's like when the 90s and hip hop came in 93, from
Right.
90 to 93, that was the best hip hop.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I used to see that shit on with crazy Sam video, underground video music over
Yeah, video
yeah,
music
video
box.
music box, whatever. I used to see that shit, right? And then I was like, damn, this nigga's got some ill beats, some ill shit. Like I want to do that in Spanish and shit. Cause you know I was like my accent and all that shit. I was like, I sound like Scarface, like Tony Montana if I rap in English. So I was let me just rap in Spanish, or maybe I could do Spanish and throw a little slang in there. I'm chilling with machetero. My niggas is coming to my pueblo, make like half and half. So I don't have to pronounce the whole shit. You get me? But then with the time, I got a little better and better and better. And I know I can still do it, but I feel more comfortable when it comes to Spanish, cause my vocabulary is crazy. Like
Right.
I read books, metaphors, all type of shit. You know?
So would you say that when you were watching Video Music Box, that was when you fell in love with hip hop?
Yeah, yeah. Cause I would
Do
come.
you remember the first music video that you saw that made you fall in love with hip hop?
One of the first one, and you know what's funny that most of the ones I like were Nas and Mob D, and I got to work with him and Twista. And then I saw Twista rapping fast and Bone Thugs. I remember Bone Thugs when they first came out. And then
Right.
I'm cool with Busy Bone. Shout out to Busy and shit.
Yeah, shout out to Busy
And
Bone.
me and my man June talked to Crazy Bone the other day, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, I grew up listening to these niggas and Core Mega, and then I ended working with them. But it's like God did it. I don't know, but that was the type of sound that I like. Not only the beats, but the flow, the New York, because you got different flows. You know, when somebody from Queens rap, you know he's from Queens. You know, because he's gonna be like some Mob D nice shit.
Yeah.
So if somebody is from another place, you could tell because just from Memphis, like 3 6 Mafia style type of shit, you know that comes from down south, East Coast or whatever. Because that's how you know where you're from. You know. So that's
So
why.
what age are you when you finally decide I want to start rapping?
Like to take it serious.
Yeah.
15, 15,
Okay.
15, 16.
So prior to 15, 16, were you just like doing it, like hanging out with your friends, just rapping for fun?
Yeah, no, I was battling niggas. Like I would go to the park with the radio and shit, and bring beats, and I will rap. With English people, rap Spanish, whatever, and I will battle them, and I will battle for hours. I even work
Wow.
in radio stations and shit like La Mega, with Luis Jimenez, El Vacilón de la Mañana, and La Calle too. But I did it. It wasn't like they called me to do it. It was just that I went to promote a song, and somebody called the radio. I want to battle him, and I battled him, and I broke the kid. And then they called me, yo, you think you could do that? What you did yesterday, every Friday? I was like, yeah. So they gave me my own show, but I didn't know I had a million people listening to it. I was just like a kid, like 18, 19,
So when you're battling at that time, was it just who had the best rhymes, or were you making them personal rhymes, like attacking the person that you're battling?
Yeah, yeah, attacking the person, but on freestyles, cause I can write, I can write, but I don't gonna sit down in a party can write a song about you. I gotta just like go by whatever comes out. But if it's like a
Wait, so you really freestyling off the top of your head?
yeah, yeah, everything,
Wow. Okay.
everything.
That's a skill in itself. That's not everybody
Uh-huh.
could do that.
that's what I did in the radio too. Like I had the people calling. My name is Jose, and my girl left me, and then I would freestyle about it. Throw the beat. Yo, your girl left you because you was drunk. She put 2 bodies in the trunk. I don't know. Like it's like a freestyle, whatever comes out. But then that's how I started. Yeah, freestyling. But I think it's better when you write it. But when you do it for so long, like it comes natural. So
right.
sometimes I record the freestyle and then I rewrite it again, just to get the feeling out. You know.
So when you earlier you had mentioned that early on you saw in New York there was issues between the Latinos and the Morenos, right? What was that weird to you when you first got introduced to that? Like, what was your reaction to that?
I was part of that, because I did shows with Annex, with Phaedra Star, and with the Bros, Hector Torres. He used to be like one of the leaders for my nation from the LK and shit. So we were with Tone. They would put all the brothers that rap to bring us to the universities and show them how we do the Latino flows and how how you freestyle. So I was doing that with the Bros, and they try to bring Big Pun. So Pun was gonna come to do the like Kings and Blood unity that day. I remember because there was a lot of stuff going on. So we did it to make a peace, so everybody could be peaceful, make music. So Pun came with some Dune Chico, Goya no Chico. I think. He fucked with Cuban, and then he's like, yo, I can't perform. I have to go to the studio and do something. So my man Hector Torres was like, yo, can you do a freestyle for Pun? And I did some fast shit. Like, toda la persona que se mete en la zona de la masacre disparando la cabeza. Si tú quieres meterte en mi camino, tú no sabes que yo tengo el estilo divino que no puede conmigo. And that nigga was like, yo, you should call, that's not a tongue twister. Pun told me, you should call yourself the Machine Gun. I was like, no, my rap name is Secret Weapon, but my street name, my kid name is Reychesta, which people don't know that they think that Reychesta is my rap name. That's not my rap name. That's my street name, like my tag. My rap name is Secret Weapon, but I use both. You get me? So Pun Big Pun tells me like, yo, you should call yourself La Metralleta. And I'm like, yo, Pun, can I take a picture with you? And he's like, yeah, take a picture. I took the picture. I was so nervous that shit came out mad blurry. So like I didn't even, it was those stupid cameras. You have to press the button and shit until the light turns red. And I'm waiting for the stupid light. I was so nervous just to be with Pun because I already knew who Pun was. So he's like, yo, you should call yourself La Metralleta. So I took that shit like to hype me up. You get me? That hyped me up so much. I went home and started writing. I was like, damn, Pun told me that shit. I can't believe it. Like nobody will believe it. Then I ended up doing a song with his son Chris Rivers and shit. But Chris Rivers don't even know that I never told him that.
Wow.
But it was real like that back in '98. That was back in '98. I'm telling you, '97. So it was a pleasure for me. And then I performed for him. They was like, yo, can you rap? Because Pun can perform. So Phaedra started this thing. And then I did a freestyle, the same thing I just did. I was like, what song I gonna do? They don't know my music. So like, no, we just gonna throw you a beat and you kill it. I was like, all right, fuck it. They threw me a beat and I was just freestyling. And that's how I started getting the, like the emotion and shit. Like the more shows I would do, the more better I would get. So that's what I tell the young kids. Like, you cannot just think you're gonna come out and blow up in one day. You gotta practice, even if it's in the mirror in front of you in the room, and see what is it that you're doing bad or wrong. You gotta move to the side. Don't stand in the same place. Switch the flows. Don't talk about the same shit in every song. Try to flip it. Talk about different concepts and shit. Because you can't just talk about girls, or drugs. You gotta do a song for the girls, for the streets, for your family.
Did you ever see Pun again after that?
No, that was the first time I met him. The last time. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
That was crazy. I met Joe. I met Cuban Joe after that, but I met Pun first. But that was because Hector Torres, rest in peace and shit, one of my bros and shit. But
how did you end up meeting Joe?
Because we did the Reggaeton Latino with Don Omar, with my manager Boy Wonder. So I was in the video and shit. I come out in the video doing this. So when they was filming the part with Don Omar and Joe, I was there when the girl came. The Univision people came to put a part in the thing. But I already had worked with Cuban before that. That happened in the Chosen Few. I'm not with Chosen Few anymore.
Right, right. And
Like
we're
I
gonna get
decided to
into
go
all that.
dolo and shit, you know.
We're gonna get into that. But what I had originally asked you was, you were talking about when you were younger, there was issues between the Morenos and the Latinos, and you guys would fight like after school, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what was that like for you? You know, it's just moving to the U.S. and you're seeing the divide right there between.
That shit started happening too with when punk came out. Cause you even have Morenos pumping punk, you know, some of them. But then you have other people that didn't like it, you know, like, oh, play this shit, you know, like, nah, we listening to this shit. Because I love DMX, you get me? So I would play DMX, right, right, and my niggas like, yo, why you playing that shit? Play punk. I'm like, nah, nigga, I play whoever I want to play because I like DMX too. But then everybody had their own, you know, their own crowd. Like you have my blood niggas in the corner listening to DMX. Then you have my bros in the other corner listening to to punk. So I'm like, yo, why we all get together and we listen, we do a mix, you know, we throw a little bit of pun, a little bit of DMX type of shit. We don't have to be like separate, you know, like you over there smoking, we over here chilling. It's all love, you know, it's all family type of shit. Like over here in Queens, we roll like that. But if you go to
Right.
the Bronx, Brooklyn, niggas is different. Niggas is like, who the fuck, bro, you here? You hear me? The niggas will flip on you quick. Like, who the fuck is this nigga? But over here, you know, we just about music and shit. And I met Cuban through a brother named Cano that knows Goya and shit. And Paul Rilla, my man Paul Rilla.
Right.
He also bro, they the one that introduced me to Cuban when we did the No Tiene Miedo song and shit. Where my man Petey Crack came down.
And shout out to PD Crack too, man.
Shadow Philly in the house. I went to his crib over there in the Philly.
So you eventually formed the group Three Crowns, right? How did that come about?
Yeah, I did. I did the name. I did the name of the group. The thing is, I didn't have no experience and shit. I was just a young kid, you know. And then I was like, I wanted to make a group to show the bros and shit that you don't have to be in the streets to represent. Cause that's what Tom told me to do. Like, you know what? Leave the leave the street shit alone and just focus on your music. So I took that. I took what he said. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wait, who told you to do that?
Tone, King Tone.
Oh, King Tone. Shout out to King Tone,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
He's a real good
uh,
brother. I interviewed him.
yeah. I was in his house and shit, and he's like, let me get that shit. I have something on my hands. I don't gonna say. And he's like, let me get that. You know what I'm saying? That's not for you. You know what? That's not even your lifestyle. You don't wanna end up getting killed or getting locked up. That's not you like that's not the type of lifestyle for you. You got a lot of talent. So you should take that talent and go and do music and represent us musically. You get me? So I was like, yeah, he's right. I can't be locked up of that nigga and nobody gonna hear my music.
Right.
So that's why I left the street shit alone for like like a year for decades. Like I did more than 20 years and shit, like doing tours since 2000, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was paying my rent with the shows and with the music, you get me? But I went through that thing that I told you with my baby mom with the court, with family court. And that kind of like blacked my career because they didn't even let me fly. And then I was paying, doing my shit, you know, but in the end, now everything's gonna get fixed with Con Dio Adelante, you know. I gonna make it happen, and I gonna make the tours again.
So wait, what about Three Crowns though? How did the group form?
I did it because I met one of them through my man Spank in Queens, and then I did a song with him. But I already had worked with Tempo, some guy in Puerto Rico, but Tempo was big already. So I was working with DJ Playero, and I told the dude like I know these people, and then he's like, for real, you know Tempo? He's like, yeah. So we went to Puerto Rico trying to do an album, me and him, before Tres Coronas and shit. So he was like, oh, the guy that gonna invest the money, he's not feeling it, so we don't gonna do the album. So the $10,000 we was gonna give Playero, they threw it in a strip club to the girls. I saw that hundreds thrown to the strippers. Old ladies looking ugly as hell. So I was like, damn, you decided to throw the money away instead of doing an album? All right. So I came back to New York and I just started working on my solo shit. So then he called me back like, yo, Ray, my bad. And he brought one of his men from Paris. So I was like, we wasn't a group yet. We was just chilling like right now. And then I was watching TV and I saw like a trophy that says the Triple Crown. Yeah, the horse races. You know, they also got it in the baseball. They got like a trophy. They call it the Triple Crown. So I thought of me, and she was like, "Damn, I rep the nation. You know, the bros got the crown, and I'm from Corona, Queens, and it's three of us right now. Yeah, so I say triple Corona. First, I say triple. I didn't say tres, and then we switch it up. So I didn't have like no experience and shit. They already like had albums out, so they already knew what business is. I don't even care about the name no more. You get me? Like they got my face on the albums. They don't even pay me for those shits. But I was like, if that shit don't come out, nobody gonna know what I did in the past. So might as well take that shit. Take it as a gift. Cause without me it's not the same. It's like when you eat a burger. They don't put the fucking they just give you the bread without the meat. You don't gotta buy that shit.
Right.
You gotta slap the nigga with the bread. Like, what's the meat? So that's the same shit. They have meat, they have something missing. So that's what I'm saying. And nobody
Right, because you end up leaving the group, right?
I never wanted to leave. I left because I signed a deal with Machete Music with Daddy Yankee's label, and then I'm with Daddy Yankee in L.A. with Boy Wonder, and Daddy Yankee comes up to me and tell me, "Yo, I told the label that you my friend to sign you," and I was like, "How the fuck you got the album? I don't even got it." And he's like, "Oh, cause y'all about to sign with Machete Music." I even tattooed that shit here on my arm, look. And people tell me, "What the fuck you tattooed Machete Music?" Like, yeah, cause that was the first label that put my album in every CD all around the world. Even if I didn't get $1 out of the album because they took the whole check. But the reason they got signed was because of me, because Yankee told the label to sign us, because that's my man. And I told that Yankee like, damn, you know what's fucked up? That they took the credit for that. So I ended, building a better relationship with him after that, and he asked me who took the picture for your album, and I say, oh, some guy named Armin from Paris. He's like, can you call him? I was gonna give him the number another day, but I went on my phone and I called Armin right there. Yo, he want to do the CD cover, and he's the one that did the Barrio Fino, where they have the gasolina shit.
Right.
My man did that picture because I hooked him up with Yankee. You think that nigga ever called me to say thank you, right? Because he worked with all the niggas that was with me in the group, with the Corona niggas. So I was like, damn. So I did all this shit. I introduced him to Boy, to this, to that. I work in the radio station. And I introduced him to Sergio Parra, the one that do the videos for Cenk, working to my trap house. Sergio was my man, and he was recording us. And he told me, "Can you bring your group? I'll help you." And I brought him, and then he ended up being their manager. I'm like, how the hell you their manager when I'm the one that brought them to your house, my nigga? You get me? Like that's like cut and throw to me, but in the end, I still shake Sergio's hand. I was like, it's all good. I know they're gonna do something funny to you. And then I saw him the second time. He's like, yo, I don't work with them no more. Like, I knew it was gonna happen, but I brought them to your house. You get me? That's why I thank my man Goya for introducing me to you. Because if not, I would have never met you. You get me?
Right.
But how I gonna call you tomorrow and be like, yo, let's do a party and not call Goya?
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
I gotta call Goya because he's the one that introduced me to you.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, I don't roll with niggas like that. You know. Yo prefiero estar pobre y estar con gente real. I prefer to be poor and be with real people than having money and be with a bunch of fake niggas that just cut and throw. They just want to be there to use you to get you connections and shit. Oh, this nigga got connects for distribution. All right, let me be his friend. Then after they get the distribution, they don't hit you up anymore. They pull you to the side basically because they don't need you anymore. So I'm different. I'm a humble person.
Yeah, you left in 2006, right? That's when you guys separated?
Yeah, 2006. Yeah, 2006.
So how did you end up becoming a Latin King?
Because I had a friend of mine. We had like a little clique in school. And then my mom sent me to DR in 94 to 95. You're going for 3 months vacation and left me there for a year, like, oh, because I was chilling with crazy niggas in New York. But she didn't know that there was worse niggas in DR. Like, because they even knew English. They was deported, and they was like, yo, I'm here deported, you know. So I was chilling with worse niggas in DR than here. So she brought me back to New York, like, no, they're gonna end up killing him over there. So I came back. So then I wanted to surprise my bros because he got locked up in Rikers. He became a bro. So when I was in DR for that year, I met the bros out there first, and then started chilling with my man Mad Dogs and shit. Mad Dogs and Julio Santos. So came back to New York and wanted to surprise the bro. You know, like, oh, I'm a bro now. But then I started all over and shit in Nickelback and Bushwick. I was with the bros. Bushwick. I was with the bros with Lucky, Buffy. Most of them brothers doing like live right now, you know, doing time and shit.
So you're like 15,
you know,
16 at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. So then, but there was niggas was crazy. Cause over here in Queens, there was no bros and shit. So we would come from Queens to Brooklyn. So that's how I met Pun. Cause the bros was fucking with Pun, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, is Pun a bro or what? And then he would come to Hector Torres and talk to Hector like, yo, you know, I fuck with you, Hector. I don't want no problems. You know, I fuck with Terror Squad. And they want put in the money for me, so I don't want nothing to happen. You know, because they want to invest the money on me. And I'm like, nah, but no, there's no problem, nigga. If anything, we was protecting Punt, nigga. Every bro was like in love with Punt, nigga, like because of the middle. You know, everybody was like, damn, what the fuck is that? You know,
right?
And Punt came through to show love in the Kings and Blood Unity. So that's how I knew that the nigga was rolling with the bros, because he was with Hector Torres. And Hector Torres was like King Tone's speak man, you know, the guy that will go on TV and say, we didn't do that, you know, because he's always blaming us for shit that we didn't even do, you know? But I was...
Yeah, when I interviewed King Tone, he said that Pun was like an honorary king.
I don't know, like, I don't know, like if he were... all I know that the bros protect him. And we would throw it up, you know, like when I met him, I threw it to him. He was sitting down, and then we go like that. But it was just like, he was like more than a bro to a lot of bros. You know, they look up to him. And he was the first Latino to sell platinum, you get me? I'm one of the first Latinos to sell platinum in New York too, believe it or not, because I got a platinum plat with the reggaeton Latino shit, the Chosen Few. But it's not the same, you know. 100,000 is platinum in Spanish. In English is a million. So I will get 10 platinum plats from if I would have sold a million. Only 50,000, 100,000 is platinum in the Spanish market, so it's different. He was the first one to sell platinum in New York, so a lot of people didn't like that. You get me?
So you start being a king at about 15, 16, right? And then Tone tells you to pursue your music career like when you're like, what, 19, 20?
Nah, yeah, like when I was yeah, exactly, 19. I was still new at the time. I was still in high school and shit.
But
so he would tell me like, look, you're gonna go to school or you're gonna work. You get me? Like one of those two. If you don't go to school, you're gonna go to work. And I don't want to hear no excuses, because if you don't gonna come to the meetings and shit, you gotta do something positive. So that's what I respect about the bros. You know, a lot of other people tell you like, oh, just do whatever you want. You know, just but you know, you got people that treat you different. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe because of the talent I had, or maybe they saw it. You know, because I used to tell them like, oh, I know Yankee, I know Manolo Guatauba, I know, and some of the niggas wouldn't even believe it. I met him because of Chavito. I don't know if you know Chavito.
Yeah.
He brought me to DJ Reflex and shit, and DJ Reflex was working with Yankee, and and some of the bros that reported with me on my tribe was related to Yankee. That was Yankee, Daddy Yankee cousins and shit too. Or his cousins reported with me.
Oh wow.
And with Skibby. I don't know if you remember Skibby. So the niggas they would bring me to the studio where DJ Reflex, Manolo Guatauba, and I already knew who Manolo Guatauba was because he worked with Mexicanos, some big rapper from Puerto Rico that passed away and shit. One of the illest too. He got a song with Cara's One and all that shit.
So would you say that you know, Tone almost like saved your life by redirecting you, telling you like, hey, don't do this street shit, like focus on the music?
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. I mean, that was the best thing that happened to me. You know, if not, would it be like the locked up, deported, dead? Who knows? You know. So
Right.
I started like doing music to rep the Latinos, but especially my people. You get me? Because they looked at us like criminals and all that shit. And I was like, nobody is the same. Nobody's perfect either. You get me? So there's you got good people, you got bad people. It's like every other family. You always got a cousin that is good, another one that is bad, or another one que alcoholic. You know, it's always the good and the bad in everywhere you go.
You know, whenever I talk to any kings, right? You hear the knowledge side of things, the positive
Hmm.
side a lot, right? But it's almost like the way that the public presents the kings is very negative. Like, you know, like maybe being prosecuted for the actions of a few that are in the streets doing
Yeah,
certain things, right? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, like I always talk about that when I do a show. I always tell them like, let's all have fun and enjoy the night. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like that drama and all that shit. Sometimes it happens and you gotta handle it. You get me? You don't gonna look like a punk either. So if I gotta throw down, I'm gonna throw down. I don't give a fuck if they beat me up. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for to enjoy the moment and meet new connections and meet new artists and maybe collaborate with them. But in a lot of concerts, the shootouts and all that, like I'm not down with that shit. Like for that, I stay in the hood. I see shootouts over there every day.
Right.
You know?
So I think it's 2008. You end up linking up with Twista, right, to do the song,
Yeah.
and that's a banger, man. Now, how did you
The,
guys end up linking up?
the song with Twista. So I spoke to Busy Bone first. So I was gonna do the song with Busy from Bone Thugs. So he told me, "Oh, my manager, yeah, Busy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony."
How'd you meet him though?
Go through a Christian rapper named Tony, some Colombian nigga that went to a church and saw him there praying, and then he told him about me. And Busy called me like Tres Cabron. I'm like, that's not my name, that's my group, and I'm not with them. No, like it was funny how he called me. How you got my number? It's like, oh, you meant Tony, some Colombian kid. So then that Colombian kid introduced him to some Colombian girl over here in 90 in Roosevelt Avenue on 93rd Street. So Busy Bone would come to Queens. And I'm like, how the fuck he's in Queens? Like, oh, because he's staying in Manhattan. I'm like, oh shit. So I was gonna do the song with him. And he told me Twista's my manager at this time. So we have to contact Twista because he's his manager. So my manager was like, nah, we should do it with Twista because he got the celebrity of the night with Kanye West right now. And Busy don't have nothing out. So my manager did it more. He did it more because of the promotion that Twista had with the celebrity of the night shit.
Right.
But I wanted to do it with both, you get me? Because they both nights. And then I felt bad, like, damn, I hope Busy don't get mad at me now. And I still talk to him. We gonna make it happen and just look, you know what I'm saying, giving everything time and shit. But then we ended doing it with Twista, and we went to Chicago because he wanted to hear me first. He was like, I don't care if you pay me or not. I want to hear what you got. And I'm like, what you want me to say? Like written or freestyle? He said, I don't care. It could be freestyle. I just want to hear you. And I did like one of my flows and shit fast. And he was gonna spit, and he stopped and he shake my hand and he said, I fuck with you. And he repeated again, even if you pay me and I didn't like it, I was gonna say no, but you killed it. So then
Wow.
we got in the booth, we started writing, but it's not the type of beat that I wanted to use with him. I wanted to do more like a down south, dirty south, like some hardcore shit. But the label paid for it, and I couldn't do nothing. But
Right.
it was history though.
Yeah, you know,
You know?
the music video is dope because like in the middle of it, right, there's a cut scene where it's like a battle.
Yeah,
Who
it's a battle.
whose idea was that?
It was my it was my manager, Boy Wonder. My manager, Boy Wonder. He liked me battling, so he liked this line I say there. I threw the line there because of him, but I didn't want to do it. But they got take out your heart,
Yo,
put
Ray,
it
can
inside
you
the
tilt it?
condom.
Because you're getting cut off. Can you tilt the phone? Sorry.
Yeah, my bad. It was our boy idea, boy wonder idea. He wanted me to like, this the guy, and I'm like, nah, let's just battle, like little battle, whatever. But he's like, nah, I want you to battle him, and then I want you to throw that line that I like. I'm like, damn, nigga, you gonna make me do this? I didn't even want to battle the guy because the guy was a DJ. You get me?
Right.
The guy was a DJ, and I was like, damn, why I gonna battle a DJ? He's not even a rapper. But I was like, fuck it, let's do it. So we ended doing it.
So when you're coming up and you're seeing the movement that Terror Squad has, right?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of Latinos really putting the lock on the game. Like, what was that like for you to see that happen?
That was like a push, because when Cuban and Punk came out, they was putting it like a little bit of Spanish and shit, especially Cuban, the dame un beso en el cuello, and I was like, oh, these niggas put in Spanish. I know what they're doing. They try to open the Spanish market, and a lot of people didn't see it, but I saw that, because they had the intention to do Spanish rap. Because even Cuba told me one day he was working on a Spanish album. I don't even know if he dropped it or not. But they was like one of my inspirations. Cuba, Pun, and me and my boys from Tres Corona. We would sit down and listen to Terror Squad when we would do tours in Colombia, Spain, and any country, Ecuador. We went. We in Paris. We would play Terror Squad albums. Like Triple Says, like we was in the studio with the Triple Says, and with Cuban. That was the only two.
It's interesting because like Cuba has said that like Joe and Pun used to make fun of him and call him Ricky Martin because he would have the Spanish flavor in it, but like he had the foresight to see like, no, this is like really important. You could cross over by doing this.
Nah. They probably say that shit because he had all the girls going crazy.
Yeah.
That nigga Cuba had all the bitches on his dick. They still. That nigga Cuba was the papi chulo of the group. You get me?
Right.
So he was always singing to the girls, que mami besame en el cuello. Like that's nothing wrong with that. He was the nigga calling the bitch, the pimp of the group.
Yeah, definitely.
So Pun was more lyrical, like battle rapper,
Yeah.
And then Joe was more like a Joey Crack, like drugs, the cartel shit, cartel shit. But Cuba was always on his commercial mentality. Like if they would have listened to him, they would have probably sell more records because they was too underground.
Did you ever have any conversations about working with Joe?
No. Like he worked with us with Chosen Few, but like that was because of Boy Wonder and shit. But it was actually SPK and them like Nori, because we fuck with Nori and shit. So I think they hook up. Nori hooked it up. Yeah, it was Nori, but we already worked with Cuban. You get me?
Right.
Where I wish I would have worked with Pun though.
Yeah, for sure, man. He is very unfortunate. He passed before like he.
My man Javia has a song with Pun and the Boricua Guerrero and Cavalucci. Shout out to Cavalucci. They had some shit with Pun, but it was because of the Boricua Guerrero. But we was working with them when they prime time and shit. The time I met Pun, it was when Pun was super Pun. Like nobody could get close to him. He was in the studio every day with my man Vic, VIC and shit from the B-Nuts.
Right.
And those niggas will always work. He was like I don't know. He's one of my inspirations and shit, When I heard Pun, I was like, oh, el Latino, he made it. I'm gonna fucking make it too. Fuck it. Even if I do a Spanish though, but I put the English flows and show niggas I'm from New York. You get me? So I'm not only from Queens.
And not just that though, but you're very lyrical. So like it makes sense that you would appreciate the type of work that Pun does.
Yeah. That's why I did the song. I did the song with Chris Rivers and his friend, Whisper.
What year was that you worked with Chris?
2010.
10? Wow. Okay. So
I put out this EP album it's called Inferno, but it was all more like old songs, new songs, whatever. And I did the Chris Rivers song and one with my man Strip Poke, some Moreno, my blood nigga.
Did you guys work on that together in the studio, or he just sent the verse?
No, he sent the verse.
Oh, he sent the verse.
Yeah,
okay.
He sent the verse. Like most of the time, I do it with the artist, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, you know, it don't matter. Like to me, like just working with the person, like yo, then we have to show them what I did too, you know.
Right.
And then he was good. He was a good kid, you know. He looked out and worked with us in a good way. Shout out to Chris too.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Rivers, man. So you also ended up recording 2 Latino anthems that had the internet buzzing, man, and they featured Cuban Link, Temperamento, Porilla, and more, right?
Yeah,
How did the first one come about?
The first one was with Nostra. They was working with him, and I never heard a Cuban rapping the whole thing in Spanish. And then that song he did a lot of Spanish. I was like, oh shit, isn't he rapping Spanish? So, like I didn't know that song was gonna be that big. Like I did like a normal verse, you know, because there was a lot of people. So I was like, I can only do like 10, 12 bars. Like I always like.
Did you already know who was going to be on the song?
No, I knew Cuba was gonna be in the song Temperamento,
okay.
But they have more artists that I didn't know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I wish I could bring time back and do a better verse, you know.
Because you rapped right after him, right?
Yeah.
On the first one?
Yeah.
But man, your verse was crazy. Like the flow was ridiculous, bro. Like I don't know if you really needed to redo that though.
No, I did some fat flow. I did some like slow, fast. I'm talking about like maybe like lyrically, I could have done better. But I was like everybody was dissing each other. You know, like Cuba was talking to Pitbull, I think. Nostra was dissing some other guy, and then I was dissing my own group, the Coronas. So if I would have done something like more versatile, it would have been better. But I was like focused on that shit, on that, because I was full of rage, you know. Right. And Cuba was mad too, so Cuba was talking to a few niggas, you know, that took a name away from him, the Cuban connection. I don't know what the fuck. But if they had me in the store, they told me, yo, everybody's gonna diss somebody. So shit, I would have dissed the whole industry. You get me? If I would have been me, I would have been like, yo, this nigga don't know how to rap. This other nigga over there is whack. This other nigga over there is just blowing up because they record label got a lot of cash. And blah blah blah. Right. And then I start from there and then blow the ass. And everything wrong, you know? But then I was like dissing my. So I was like, I don't even need to talk about that no more. Like I'm trying to focus on my solo shit now that I'm older. I only got like 3-4 more years. I want to do music. I'm 45. I'm happy to be alive and proud of work with so many artists. And I don't gonna stop my dream for nobody. Like if it's gonna take 3 more years for me to blow up, I'm gonna keep doing it. But I know I'm gonna make it happen because now I got more media, more fans, new fans, and old fans. I even got fans that their grandfathers know who I am. Can you believe this shit?
Wow, that's crazy.
Like my grandfather used to listen to you with my dad, and that's how I find out who you are. I'm like, what the hell? And your mom? She's like, yeah, my mom played your music too. I'm like, what type of family you? Like y'all niggas is hood. Y'all come from the ghetto. Like so
for that music video though, right? Did you guys film that all together, or was it like everybody just did their part separately?
No, we did it all together. Yeah, we did it all together.
Oh, that's dope.
I think it was in the Bronx or Brooklyn in a building, and we have like Pity Crack coming from LA with my man Knox and Porilla. Everybody came through. Temperamento came with the Royal, Black Royal, when he was with Black Royal and shit. It was cool, you know. It's like it was my prime time. It was that was the time I was blowing up, and I didn't even know.
So then you guys end up doing a part 2 to that. How did the part 2 happen?
Yeah, we did part 2. cause of my man Cano and Porilla, they fuck with they told me to make up a name for a group. So I'm like, damn, I got the Alma Secreta, the secret weapon shit. So what we gonna call the group? Los Armas Guerra, like the war makers. So we did a group named Los Armas Guerra with Cuban Link, me, Temperamento, Porilla, and my man Chiquitin. And then Chiquitin didn't want to rap anymore. Then Temperamento started doing his solo stuff. Then me and Paul was doing tours to Ecuador and all that. But then everybody got like separate to do different stuff, like to work with the cars and stuff. Like, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do tours, and I went touring, and everything stopped and shit. You get me? So everybody started working on different projects. But yeah, I was there. I was there when we made up the name and shit.
So for the second one though, you guys didn't film that music video together, right? That one was more separate.
No, we did the like my part in Porilla in the boat. We did it in Ecuador, in Guayaquil.
Oh wow!
We was in Las Salinas, in the beach over there. Mm-hmm. So we did the video in the boat in Ecuador because we was doing a tour with Melimel, the chick that rapped in the second one that she killed it.
Right.
She's a sister. Shout out to Melimel. She's from DR. She got millions of followers too. She's very big over there. So I didn't know this chick is nasty. I was like, yo, that sister, she rap ill. So it made me want to do the same shit I told you. Like, let's go back to the studio. I want to change my verse type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you get the chance and shit. And that's why it's good to know, like, who's going to jump in the track and shit. Like, I didn't know who she was. So then I heard her verse. I'm like, damn, yo, but she killed this shit. And she's a queen. Damn, that make me happy. You hear me? Like, damn, that sister is doing it. And right now, she's very big. She's doing super good right now. I'm proud of her.
Mm-hmm. So you and Cuban were supposed to be in a group together?
Yeah, with Cano. We had a click. It's called 326 though, I got it right here.
Oh, that's the 326 movement, right?
Yeah,
the music.
326.
I got you.
You see, I tattoo it right here.
Right.
But not everybody can have that tattoo and shit. You gotta, you gotta ask Cano for it. So
then what happened though? Like you guys didn't record more music?
We had that group 326. So Cano asked me to make a name of the group. So I came out with Los Almaguerras, It's like me and Temperamento. We mentioned that a few times. We did a good project. We put out like a compilation with Los Almaguerra name and everything. But we didn't like push it the right way. You get me? We was like everybody was doing tours and I was hard to find. You get me? Like for me to come to the studio, you have to like then call Ray 100 times type of shit because I was in different studios. Like I will be in right here, and then 2 hours later we'll go to another studio. Like oh shit, come do a song with Fuego, or oh shit, come do a song with this nigga Joel Ortiz. I did some shit with Joel Ortiz, never came out. It's called Only When They Drunk. They don't know how to act when they drunk. That song never came out either. We did it in your ear studio and shit with my man Axe.
And Joel is a real spitter too.
Yeah, he's still doing it. I just heard some shit he put out. It's fire.
So for you though, which one did you like better, the first one or the second one?
I like the first one.
The first one?
Yeah. I like the first.
Dope, man. So I think it's pretty safe to say that Latin music is probably like one of the biggest music genres in the world, right? And hip hop is definitely
right now
really big as well.
Right now it is because I seen even like English people rapping little words in Spanish, like Mami, numero uno, I don't want to get on your culo. Like they put them little Spanish words and they like, where's this guy from? Like, no, he's from Miami. So, oh shit, that nigga chill with a lot of Cubans or something. So, like, so you get into it.
How do you feel, because you've been able to tour the world because of this, right? Like what has that experience been like for you, seeing all these different places and because of your dream in music?
Every place is different. You get me? And I don't know. My dream came through because I dropped a few albums and I came up in NTV and BET and I was never expecting that, but it happened. But for me, it's more than a dream come true. And every country is different. Like Colombia, I love Colombia. Like I'll fucking move over there and stay there forever. But then you have different like Peru, is Chile, Bolivia. Is Bolivia is more different because it's like 2,000 feet. So you run out of breath. If you live in New York, you go over there, you need a tank, oxygen tank, because if not, you're gonna die. I swear. They even got those shits in the streets and shit. Or they give you the leaves of the coke
Right,
leaves,
right.
and you have to chew it, and so you don't get dizzy and shit. If not, you pass out. It's like 2,000 feet, like in the mountains and shit.
Wow.
But yeah, every place is different, and every experience that I learned, it make me want to be not only a better person, but like appreciate life more. Because I've seen a lot of people, like going through hell, like sleeping in the streets, asking for money to eat out there, and and like the parents renting their kids to ask for money. I'm like, what do you mean renting them? Like, yeah, the guy asking for 20, he left the kid to ask for money, and then he drink the money because he's an alcoholic, and then he come back and get the kid and take all his coins to drink the money. So like, what the
Wow.
fuck, like that? What type of father is that? Like,
Yeah.
so they burn their own kids with items, with hot shit, hot metals. They burn their face. So then you see the kid like all rusty, like a zombie. Like, what the fuck the kid is burned like that? Like, oh, because their parents do that. So people feel bad for them and give them tips. So you got this kid asking you, can you get $1? When you see the kid's face like that, you feel so bad, you give it to him. But you don't know that the father's waiting for him to take the money away. So I almost beat somebody up because of that shit. My man was like, nah, that's his father. Don't do nothing. I'm like, nah, but look what he doing. So those type of shit I don't respect.
It's crazy because, like, of course, in the United States, the hoods are bad, right? But it's nothing compared to third world countries. Like when you go see the way that some of these people are living with no like government
Exactly.
assistance or anything, it's very humbling to another level.
And not only that, they work like a whole month to get $100, right? And some of these people is professionals though, like teachers. So like a doctor will make $200 a month, like, and then you got all these kids over here in New York complaining, oh, I want my iPhone, I want this, I want that, but they don't know how hard the parents have to work to get that money too. But over here it's easier. Like $100, they spend that shit in a day over here. But over
Right.
there they have to work a whole month to get that $100 and shit. So some people gotta like appreciate what they have. Even if you don't have a lot, that's a lot for other people that don't got shit. You get me?
It's crazy because I just interviewed my bro China Mac, right? And he's been traveling over in Asia, and he's been traveling over in Asia, and he said that like in the hood, you still see people with name brand and still see them with cars and stuff, but over in the other countries, it's like you don't even see that at all.
It's everybody have a different dream. Like I said, like I wish I would have been a millionaire so I could help a lot of people. But maybe
Right.
if I was a millionaire, I would have probably be set up and killed for the money. So I'm good the way I am right now. But
Mhm.
as soon as I start getting better with the shit, yeah, I help a few people out more, friends and people that I know. But
Mhm.
what I try to do with my music right now, I'm dropping an album with my man Dave Nix in Colombia this month. It's coming out maybe like in the end of the month. It's called Letras and Metras, like lyrics and machine guns. Letras y Metras. And then we
Oh.
have Godfather Part 3 from Infamous Mob in there. Shout out to Infamous QB Queensbridge. My niggas over there. We got Godfather on the. We got my man Temperamento on the album too.
Shout out
We got
Temperamento, man. He
shout out
just
to
released an
Temperamento.
album.
That
It's
like
fire. His
I
album is
put him in the
fire.
album, and he's a Christian rapper now, but he still
Yeah.
killed it. We still keep it like street, but with a message. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And then we got Warrior from Rapping School from Peru. They very talented, and I wanted to put a lot of more people, but a lot of people wasn't there. Like I would tell them, yo, come through. Oh yeah, I'll come through, and never came. Or they sent the verse late. The album was already getting mixed. So I guess I'm gonna keep dropping more. The volume 2, volume 3, whatever it is, and
Right.
keep this shit moving.
So in 2011, you were contacted by the WWE to write a song for Hunico, right? His theme music for Sin Cara, right?
Yeah, you know a lot. Yeah, that's true.
Bro, I do my research, man. You know, I'm very thorough with my research.
Yeah, no, it's true. I had a call from a white boy named Jim Johnson, and he was like, "Oh,
right, he's the person that does all the theme music for the WWE. Like that guy's a genius, man."
Oh, so you heard of him?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's crazy. I thought you didn't know.
No,
that's crazy. For real? Yeah. Yo, shout out to Jim Johnson. Yo, Johnson, I didn't know you was that big boy. He's a white boy too. So I tell the white boy like, "Yo, how you got my number, my nigga?" He's like, "I got it on Facebook," and I'm like, "Facebook? I thought of the FBI." I'm like, "This nigga's an agent." Like Facebook, I don't even like that shit. And then he say, "Oh yeah, we know you from the Tres Coronas, and we're doing this compilation with Pitbull, Petey Pablo, Tris's Mafia. Tris's Mafia did a song for another wrestler. You get me? Pitbull did a one for another. I was the one that did it for Hunico, which is Sin Cara, because he do like two personalities. I think he's Sin Cara too, but when he got no mask, he's
right. Sin Cara is when he wears the mask.
Yeah, it's him though, right?
Yeah, it is him. Yeah,
that nigga's like me. You see, I'm not stupid. I told my boy like, "Yo, I think he's like me. Like when I'm Secret Weapon and Reychesta, I do two characters, right?" So I told my man like, "Yo, I think this nigga is Sin Cara, the nigga with the mask, right? But when he take off the mask, he play another character." And my man was like, "Nah."
Right. It's like a split personality almost.
Yo, so it's true then. I'm not stupid. Nah. I told my man that shit. So then the guy is Mexican and shit from Chicago, you know? So maybe, I don't know. Because he always say, "We the Reyes from the barrio." So it's like, maybe he like Tres Coronas. I don't know. Because Jim Johnson asked me about the group. But I told him, "Look, if they're going to be in the compilation, I don't want to be in it. Like, you know, I appreciate that you look for me. But if the other two niggas gonna be on that album, I don't want to be in it." Because they did shit like that to me, you know? Like with people that are radio stations and stuff like that, they try to interview me and they will call the owner of the radio. Like, "Oh, if Ray's gonna be in the interview, I don't want to get interviewed ever." So the owner of the radio will call me like, "Ray, I don't care if they don't."
Wait, who did that?
The guys from I was down in the group.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Like try to like cock block me, like close my doors and shit. Not knowing that the niggas that listen to the group was most of them was bros and shit. You know, niggas that rock that 5 and shit. You get me? So I had a lot of bros buying the CD to support me, but I never got $1 out of that shit. So that's when the bros in Brooklyn was like, "Yo, where that money's going?" I was like, "I don't get it nothing." So that's when they asked me for their number and shit. Like, "Yo, y'all niggas playing and shit, like using the nation name, like they did me a favor basically. Because if not, I would have to deal with all this shit. You get me? Like, "Oh, where that money's going?" Like, nigga, I ain't getting no money from that shit. I was doing hip hop for the love of the culture, and that's something that I want people to understand. That money comes and goes, but your talent and your flow never goes.
Right.
It stay with you. You get me? So nobody can take that shit away from me. You get me? Like I can fucking die tomorrow and they still gonna play my fucking videos and shit.
You're gonna live on through the music, definitely.
Exactly. And that's what hurts more, you know, because I got a video with like 30 million, another one with 50. I started doing math, and only like in 4 or 5 videos I had 100 million. I'm like, how the fuck I got 100 million views and I don't got my not even my YouTube fucking platinum or whatever it is they give you. Yeah, because back then they wasn't counting those views. They was like, "Oh, now they pay for Spotify and all that shit."
Right.
Now YouTube is paying, but back then YouTube wasn't paying though. You know?
So how did this song end up coming about then, the theme song for Sin Cara?
Because I told Jim Johnson, like, "Look, I'll do it, but you have to put me on the PlayStation game. Because I'm a PlayStation fan, you get me? So I play every game. And I'm like, yo, I want to see myself in the game, nigga. Like, listen to my song in the game." So he say, "Okay, I'll do it like that. But you have to give me a release. I'm going to send you a release so I can be able to drop it." So he put it on iTunes everywhere. Like, I don't even know. I did it more for the Mexicans fans I had. Because a lot of them like like Nacho Libre.
Right.
Like the movie Nacho Libre, they always with the mask. So I'm like, yo, Mexicans love wrestling, and if I do that shit, the WWE is gonna help me get more fans, and that's what happened. That's why I did it. I did it more for the Latinos and shit. I wasn't even thinking about $5,000 or whatever. I was like, yo, y'all got mad money. Y'all can pay a lot of more money than that. But I'm gonna do it.
So they gave you 5,000 to do it?
No, they gave me more.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
They offered me 5.
Right.
But I told him, like, I don't care about the money. If you put me on the PlayStation game and then pay-per-view, like every time he comes out to fight, they in the corner they put Reychesta team song. You get it?
Yeah.
So
That's that
so
promotion
the
right there.
game,
You smart. You
yeah.
smart.
So I'm not stupid. You get me? So when he came out on pay-per-view with Macho Camacho Jr., they put my name on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So the game is based on the pay-per-view fight. It comes out the same way it came out. But that was just like a gift from God, because I wasn't ever expecting this guy to hit me up. Look, I put my phone on Facebook because I don't even do that.
Right.
Sometimes I will put another number. I don't know.
Did you get paid any royalties from that shit?
Yeah, I get some royalties for that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So you had a relationship with Tupac's group, the Outlawz, right? You work with them?
Yeah, I'm a member. I'm a member of the Outlawz. I got a tattoo here.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
the one that put me down was Pac's mom.
Oh, Afeni. So rest in peace to her.
Yeah, yeah. I met her through Mob D. Mob D has a DJ named DJ Phantom, Spanish DJ. So he was working on that with Machiavelli Records and Death Row with my man Mike DeLorean from Bars and Hooks. So I did a song with Mike DeLorean and B12 in the studio. So they was like, yo, you want to jump in this Outlaw compilation we doing? I was like, hell yeah, I listened to them. So I did the song. I thought it was for a mixtape. I give them like a fucking freestyle, my nigga. I didn't even write this shit. I freestyle. If I would have known, I would have given them the illest verse I ever had. So I'm like, yeah, I'll give you a freestyle. Don't even pay me. I do it out of love, you know? It's the Outlawz. So then he called me the next day, like, I'm here in LA with Tupac's mom, and she want to talk to you. I'm like, what the I didn't even believe it. I was like, yo, the leader of the Black Panthers. Like, yeah, that's me. So I told her, you know, I want you to put me down the group so I can rep the Outlawz in Latino, like, you know, like in the Spanish market.
Right.
And then she say, you in. All you gotta say one love, one thug. I was like, what's that? It's like, oh, that's the salute. I'm like, what the hell? Like, they have their own salute and shit.
Right.
Like when you see me, you just gotta say one love, one thug. Like, okay. So then I see this commercial with the album. I'm like, oh, let me go cop the album because I'm coming out on the mixtape. And it was Mussolini's, that's Napoleon's brother. So I went to buy the album. I see my name. I started crying. I'm like, damn, I didn't even know this is the album I'm coming out. I thought it was coming out on the mixtape, and they was promoting that shit on TV and everything. But they didn't mention my name. They say, oh, featuring Tupac, featuring Napoleon, the Outlawz, go buy it. So I'm like, let me go buy that shit so I can support these niggas, because I'm working with them now. And then I see my name on the album. Like, damn, this is the same album I saw on TV. Like, this is not normal. It's shit, like a miracle type of shit. Like, I always dreamed to do a song with them niggas, you know? And then
And which song was this one? This was Thug Lion?
No, Thug Lion was for a mixtape I did.
Oh, okay.
It's called Make It Change.
Right,
Make It Change.
right. That's the one. That's the one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Mussolini. They used to call him Kamel back in the day. So that's Napoleon's brother.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me some crazy wild shit, you know, like they when they was kids, some guy came in the house and shot out his father, mother, I don't know.
Right.
So they went through a lot. Don't kids is warriors and shit, you know. They was from Jersey too, from New Jersey.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, yo, these niggas is warriors, all that shit they went through and shit, and they still rapping. That made me wanna fucking do some crazy shit. But they from LA though. and they one of my inspirations too. Like I used to listen to the Outlawz a lot. My brother, I even put my brother on the phone with Pac's mom. Like, yo, can I put my brother to say hello and shit to Pac's mom? I'm like, my brother couldn't believe it. Like, you bugging. Like, yeah. But it was stuff that happened, like, because of the music. Because I walked to the wrong studio, you get me? Like, I was in another studio. I called my man Ben from Now Laters. Yo, Ben, I'm coming through Queensbridge. This nigga is recording with Mob D over there, with Mike DeLorean, Bars and Hooks and all that. And they was about to sign with the Death Row. I guess Mob D was trying to do something with Death Row at that time. But they didn't do it. So I ended doing it with Machiavelli Records, which is this Tupac's mom label.
Right.
But shit,
So
for me,
what is your relationship with the Outlawz these days? You still talk to them?
I talk to Muslim sometimes. Yeah, I write to Napoleon most of the time, but he always busy.
Right.
He's Muslim, man, so he always on his traveling, and he's Puerto Rican too. I see he put his Puerto Rican flag. His hat. They half black, half Puerto Rican.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
What about Edie?
I never met Idi Amin, but he's one of one of the ones I like too.
Right.
Because it's like, outlaw to the day I die.
Right. Yeah.
You got the gutter and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to the Outlawz, man. In 2016, you had issues with your record company, right? And you ended up changing your name. What happened with that?
No, I left the label because I did the album, and they was like, oh, the songs sounds too old, because they took like 10 years to drop this shit.
Right.
Like, yeah, nigga, I did the album. It's not my fault. Every 3-5 years the music change. Then you go from rap to trap, from trap to drill. So you gotta switch it up. You cannot just do a whole boom bap album. But I got fans that do like that shit. That they still listen to stuff I did back in 2005, 2001. So that the music that is good is timeless. So you cannot tell your artists like, oh, you sound old, you gotta update. No, you gotta update because you're not promoting me right. If you would have put that shit out a long time ago, that would have been just the past. Now we're in the future. So now I gotta do new music or new videos, right? But always doing it by myself. Like I don't depend on nobody. Like the labels just wanna put it out to charge you from the money you make. Like, oh, I invested this type of money. I don't care how much you invested, nigga. You took a lot of more money and you never say nothing. Like you go to the bars and you put those dialer machines, you put the song. Like I typed my name the other day, they had like 3 songs in there. Like I don't even get $1 out of that shit. Like who's getting that That's not royalty. That's fake loyalty.
Right.
That's not even loyalty, fake loyalty. Cause you got songs there like with my lyrics selling and you don't even tell me that. Like who's getting that money? Where it's going to? I don't know who's getting that. But that should be count though.
So is this the record company that won't release you from the contract?
No, cause I ended doing my own label. Like Primera Corona Records and shit. You get me? So I started dropping all my music like under me. Even if I register the song or I don't register, most of the time I go to BMI and register the shit. But even if I don't register the shit, niggas can get away with it because I always record my shit when I do it in the studio and it got the day and the time. So if we go to court, you're gonna lose. I even got a video on my own group, Tres Corona, saying, oh, Ray did the name of the group. And they edited the video when it came out, right? But I got the images. So if I go to you and you're a judge, you're gonna tell me like, why we here? Why we wasting time? You don't see that you in the video? I'm made in it. That he's the one that made it. I should slap you in your face. Now you're gonna get double suit. So now you gotta give him 2 millions for lying to me, the judge, and for trying to cover something that is not true. So you got everything to lose, nigga. I just don't want to do it because I don't want to waste my time going to court or paying a lawyer. Because the money I got right now, I prefer to give it to my mom than give it to a lawyer because these lawyers, they all know each other, so they end up selling it themselves. That it happened to me already with a lawyer I had. So you cannot trust nobody on this game. You know, you gotta be on top of everybody. You gotta have a lawyer. You gotta have two lawyers. You gotta have a lawyer, another lawyer to be on top of your lawyer, just in case they try to play.
People say that the music business is even more dirty than the street game, the drug game. That's like how crazy it is.
It is. It is. Because you got sponsors and people that put money down, you know, like, yo, here's money to push the music, and then they never tell you they put that shit on their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So you never find out, you know.
But Goya was telling me that you were having issues with a contract with your record company or something like that, that you weren't able to really put out music like that.
No, that's not true. Like I had a little issue with Boy Wonder.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't over the issue of the CDs. It was I was doing ghostwriting for one of his artists, and he ended up giving one of my lyrics to Arcángel from Puerto Rico, so I got mad at him, like, why you let him sing my hook that I wrote for the girl? And he's like, oh, nah, you should have never say that on Instagram, blah blah. Like, I did it because I was mad. You hear me? But I did bigger things than that for him that I never brought up, like songs with Signy Lennox. Acaríciame with Jenny, I wrote that shit. So I didn't sing the hook. I didn't say nothing. Another song I did with Plan B, they did the remix where it's called Friquitona.
Mm-hmm.
The Friquitona. You see, I wrote that hook.
Wow.
But nobody knew that shit until now. You get me?
So
why I got
Boy Wonder is the producer, but he was your manager at the time?
Yeah, he was my manager. So I gave him a hit for Chosen Few too. You get me? I'm on that one too. So I was like, yo, I gave Plan B that Friquitona hook. So I started writing songs for the girl that sang it, Jenny, Friquitona. So then she did something where I can't hit, and I wrote it, and the guy ended up singing it without my permission. So I was like, why the fuck does the guy do that shit? Like, we working. I try to help Jenny because she's with John Zeta, some Puerto Rican kid, with Chosen Few with the label. But it was nothing personal with Boy. It was just that I was mad at him for doing that. So I wanted to cut my friendship with him. Because remember, I started with him when we used to have the train. Like, we had no money. We had the train, me and Boy, to go to La Mega so I could do my freestyle shows. So I know him I met him with Daddy Yankee and shit, with Nicky Jam. Like, the series that Nicky got, that he comes with Yankee, and they in New York because they was running. We was with them at that time. We was in the hotel. Me, Boy Wonder, Mickey Mac, in the hotel with Nicky and Yankee. And Nicky was like always crazy, like, yo, I'm going to Times Square. And we was staying in the room talking to Yankee, and we was worried about this nigga. Like, yo, don't go by yourself. He's like, nah, I'm going I don't need security. He will leave. I was at that time in New York, you know, rapping in the radio, doing songs with Playero Tempo. Like, this nigga was bigger than me. Shit, I wasn't nothing in front of them. They was already like set at 5, you know, like they sold albums. I was just learning.
So have you resolved the issues with Boy Wonder?
Yeah, with his brother Chris, me and him spoke, and we told Boy, you know, I try to like talk to him, and I told my man that just did an interview on me the other day to talk to him and bring him, and Boy was like, oh, I can't go, but I let him know, you get me, like, I got nothing against you. This shit that happened, you know, that I didn't even get invited to the video, nothing. Like, I worked for more than 10 years. I signed a contract for 10 years. And I ended being with him for like 15 years. Well, I think I signed for 5 years.
Him being your manager?
Yeah.
Or was it a production deal?
Yeah. So when my contract finished, I was like, I don't even need to sign nothing. I was just working with him, like, word for hire and shit.
Right.
Like, oh, here, I got a few thousands. Write me a song for this artist, or you sing it and you give it to me. And that's how it was back in the days. Like, they buy the album from you, the song, and they put it in a compilation.
Right. So they're giving you the money up front, but you're not getting anything on the back end or any,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now, you know, they own the master of that song.
Right.
Because it's like word for hire.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's not that was back then though. Now you gotta be smart. You know, now you got the distribution. You can do it yourself. You know, the labels is not there anymore. So now I don't know. It's different. Everything is digital now.
Right. So in 2019, your father ends up passing away, right? Rest in peace.
Yeah.
What was your relationship like with your father when he died?
I started like I tried to get in touch with his family, and I spoke to one of his daughters and one of his sons, but he had 28 kids, so I can't
Holy
I
shit.
can't reach 28 people, you know. So I reached two of them, and I try to look, you know, and then the girl told me like, yo, he told me about this kid. He used to look, he used to look for him, but he never find him. And like, oh yeah, like, so that's how we started talking, and and then she saw me. She was like, damn, you look more than him, like than other brothers I got. You look just like him. I was like, damn, that's a shame, you know, because I was like, music is music and family is family. So sometimes, you know, like when you do tours, the fans they don't understand that shit. Like, oh, stay. Like, I change my flight every time I go to Colombia or Chile. I always changing my flight. Like, okay, I stay for another week because you know I like the way they treat me. You get me, like the
Right.
girls or the people, like they cook for me and they're like, oh, they make tea. It's different, you know, like your neighbors come out, like, oh, you want to come and drink a tea? It's not. It's just different. It's a different vibe, you know. So you
So
end up
you didn't have so you weren't able to establish a relationship with him, but you established a
no,
relationship with your half siblings.
yeah, with his
Got
kids and
you.
shit.
Hmm.
And then you know, like I was trying to go through to DR to do a DNA and all that shit to make sure, you know, but all the shit that was going through, I couldn't travel, you know, so I was like, I didn't do it, but shit happens, you know.
Did you feel some kind of like peace when she said that, he was looking for you and he would talk about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I did, yeah.
That's good, man. That's good that at least you got that.
Mm-hmm. I did. But you know, I used to be like mad and sad all the time and shit, but then I was like, let's just keep it moving, you know. Now I gotta focus on me and my son. Now my son is a teenager, you know. It's like 15 and shit, angel. And
Wow.
and I try to tell him the same. Like, you wanna do music, I help you. You know, I help you how to write a song. But if you wanna be a fireman, a cop, anything, I'm still gonna support you no matter what. So you just tell me what you like or what you wanna be, you know.
That's good,
But
man.
it's
That's definitely good, because
mm-hmm.
sometimes people try to put pressure on their kids to be something else, like live their dreams through their child or whatever. So that's great that you're willing to support him no matter what he wants to do off of what he really likes.
Yeah. And it's crazy because he told me, "Oh, I like your music," and I was like, "Oh, you know, I don't want you to listen to every song because I curse." So he told me, "Oh, make me a list of the songs that you don't curse and shit." So I was like crying. I didn't tell him I was crying. I was like, "Damn, that made me want to do music again." Like I didn't even want to do music anymore. Like I was just, you know, like try to record, put out whatever I had, and then like that's it. I don't want to do it because I wasn't getting the support from the people that I looked out in the beginning. You get me? Like I
Right.
introduced Boy Wonder to NTV. Then TV3 came looking for me when they heard me in La Mega, and they was like, "Yo, I want you to introduce me to a few groups so I can make a package and go back to Miami." So I remember I called Big Mado, I called Boy Wonder, I called a few people that I knew that was doing something for the music, because I know a bunch of rappers, but none of them was taking it serious. So I know that Boy and Mado, SPK, they was every day in the studio. So I was like, let me bring them. And that's what a real artist do. You know, like if you know there's another artist that is talented, you bring him with you, or you put him on your album, on your tours, so other people can know about him too. And then you take his fans the same way he take your fans, and then you get more views. You know, but other people's more close minded. They just think of themselves and shit.
Right. Well, Ray, let me ask you that, right? Because there was a period of time where you said like a couple of videos together, you got 100 million views, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that bother you now when you think about like where is that support?
No, it don't bother me because I see the date and it says 2012 years ago, 15 years ago. You get me? So the new generation is gonna see that. Like, oh shit, this nigga was rapping when I was only 3 years old. I'm 18 now. Or some of them probably younger. You get me? And now they learning from us too, because they're like, damn, he was doing those flows at the time. I could do it now, but I could do it better. They could learn, or they could teach others with their music, or our music. Or nobody's perfect, you know. Everybody learns from each other. And but a lot of people don't like to admit, like, oh, I like this guy, but I like his flow. Let me take his flow and do it my way. You know,
Right.
that's how real Temperamento is. One day he told me, you and Tempo was my inspirations. Like when I heard you rapping, man, I was like, that made me want to rap, man. I was like, oh, there, nigga, you my friend. Why you telling me this? He's like, oh, cause I respect you and Tempo too. You're my idols. I was like, so that's why I put it on my album. I
That's
mean, I
dope,
already
man.
worked with him. He already killed it, but
Yeah.
I put him again because he's the only one that is there for me. Like, even when I don't want to do music, he hit me up. Like, yo, you all right? How you doing? How you feel? That's what real niggas do, you know?
That's a fact, man. Well, Reychesta, man, I just want to thank you for your time. Is there anything you
Yeah.
want to say to the fans before we go ahead and wrap it up?
I just wanted to say to wait for the new album coming up, Letras y Metras. There's another one, EP album I'm working with Dave Nix. It's called Los Sicarios de Pablo, like Escobar, like the Pablo's hitmans, you know? And
Right.
that's more like an EP, but it's gangster, you know, like Spanglish, English, Spanish, Spanglish mixed together with some like Griselda type of beat. It's more guttish. So this one is coming out like in a few months. The Sicarios de Pablo, like Pablo hit me. But that's like a EP with a Knicks. And then I got a Letra y Metras, and I got a few tracks with Temperamento, Dave Nix, my man Warrior from Peru, Godfather Part 3, Infamous Mob. So, but we got more
Damn,
music
you've
coming
been
up.
working, man. You got a lot.
We got more music coming up. That's just like the albums and EP that we dropping now. Then I'm working on an album too with SPK, the Nori producer of the Oye Mi Canto.
Right.
And Nori producer is SP Killer. I'm working on an album with him and my man DJ June. So I have like a few singles already out. Working on the videos right now, but I'm dropping this album Letri Metra first, and then the EP, and then the other one. So I got maybe like 4 or 5 albums and shit that I want to put out this year.
That's dope, man. All right, bro. I appreciate you, man. Salute to you. Good luck with all the projects that you got coming up, bro.
Salute to you too. Thanks to Goya and the managers, Cuban Link's managers. So hit us up. Any collabos I want to do. Anybody like the music we're doing, collaborations or anything. Just hit us up on my Instagram, Reychesta SW or Reychesta Fan Club, or you can hit my Facebook, Reychesta NYC, and we're here to work, man. We're here in La Cocina Studio right now, live and vivo y en directo, live and direct.